that space of everything, when we listen to this, we all start to become aware of a particular part of the everything that we are, and we meet there. And I really want us to be all in that space together, because I think Alec has something really fun to tell us. So now just become very aware of your breath. Maybe you would see it as a mist right in front of your nose. And you breathe in that mist. And you pull it all the way down to your toes. You envision that mist going all the way down into your toes. And then exhaling. And so I'm going to get a little picky now, and when you breathe in, I want you to try to breathe in and pull that breath down into the belly so that your belly goes out like a baby's. Nice big fat belly, Buddha belly. Rather than just filling up the lungs, I want you to pull it down into the belly. And then once it's there, I want you to hold it. And hold it, there's a reason for that. And then gently, when you feel like you can't hold it anymore, you can let it flow back out again, nice and gently, okay? So just practice that a few times. Breathing in, filling up the belly. Holding, holding, because as you hold, you're putting a little bit of a pressure on that pituitary gland to open up the pineal and just when you think I can't hold it anymore, and then just gently release. So we use the body to help us awaken a little bit. Such a magical thing. Two more things we'll do, and then we'll bring Alec out. So I want you to take your pointer finger and your thumb on one hand, your pointer finger and your thumb on the other, and I want you to interlock them as O's. And then lace all the other fingers. And you can place it anywhere on your body. For me, I think today I'm going to place it right there in my sacral chakra. Second thing we'll do is we're going to do the okay? Just get started and we'll all find, and we won't all necessarily be on the same note, but we'll find a harmony. If someone stops, just keep going so that we can kind of hear that hum the whole time, and let's just see what happens.
Oh man.
Come on, sing it, girl. Just let it go.
The mic is there if you need it, Alec, you just
Oh,
need
yeah.
to,
Just pick it up.
Okay.
It's right over here on the floor.
Come on.
Up here. Gotta let it ring. I think that's enough space right there. You okay right there?
Oh yeah, let me bounce around a little bit.
Bounce wherever you wanna go.
Yeah, start flowing into the pace.
Alright. Somebody make sure you take some good pictures back there, because I can't get my pictures over here. very
Yeah,
well.
somebody take pictures, I'm recording it.
Yep, somebody, a few snapshots for me.
Okay, testing.
Anyone.
I've done this a while. It's nice that I'm comfortable speaking. There was a time when I couldn't speak, and so it's really a miracle that I'm able to speak, because I would literally lock up and nothing would come out. Very embarrassing if you ever have that happen, and you don't want to do that. And then you
I have
And
to, yes.
I had an encounter back in a bunch of them, but I had a major encounter back in 2013 that just shifted everything. And things started happening with me and around me and the people that got around me. And no one could explain it, you know. Back in 2013, I came to a place where I was sick and tired of life. I said, I'm just done with it. I'm going to kill myself. You know, I'm done. And now I had been hearing the one we call God, and I've been reading the Bible, and I was hearing the words behind the words. I wasn't just reading the literal word. I was hearing, and I'd never read or nothing. You know, I couldn't read because my mind raced so much, but, you know, I was hearing, but I saw something different. And it had always been in me. Even when I was out, you know, we say asleep, there was something in me calling me the entire time. And I often wondered, you know, because I had friends that just seemed like they could just keep doing the things that we were doing. It didn't seem to bother them. But I had something in me that was just calling me to something different. And I always had these questions in my entire life. Why am I here? What's my purpose? What's the purpose of this? And really, ultimately, who am I? And see, it's written into me. It's in my very name. Alexander is the protector of the truth of mankind.
Wow.
It's written into me. I was named that for a reason. It's been in
Wow.
my family, my lineage, the entire time.
Wow.
As far back as my lineage goes, there's Alexander. And there's a group of people. It's not just for me. It's a group that are protectors of this truth of humanity. It's not for just me. It's for everybody. And we're just not setting ourselves free. We're setting everyone free all the way back to the beginning.
Yes.
When visibility was unveiled, it's always been. It's not something that happened in a linear fashion like we like to think it does. It's a process. And that's the way we see things, that we have to process that way. That's the way it's set up, actually. It's set up that way. So we can't, we can't be mad because of that. That's the way it's set up. So ultimately, we come to a place and we let go. Totally. And I've questioned that too. What happens when I let go of the steering wheel? Totally. And I've questioned that for a long time, and it scared me. It has. But I came to this place and I was going to kill myself, and I went back to my bedroom. I crawled in the bed. I was just thinking about how, you know, I was just tired. You know, and I was like, man, I'm done. I'm done with this life. I can't do this anymore. It's not. Down deep, I knew it was not who I was. Didn't know who I was. But that one was in there, man, just calling and calling. he calling and setting it up, all these little things. And I said out loud, I said, okay, now I know you're real. I know there's more meaning to life than the way I live. But if I'm going to continue living like this, I'm done. I'm killing myself right now, man. I'm done. And something happened. The whole room shifted. It lit up. I had more clarity than probably I had since I was a baby. And see, I'd forgotten my childhood where I heard so clearly. I wasn't asleep, man. I might have been put to sleep, but I wasn't asleep. I heard so clearly the voice telling me which way to go. I remember walking in the woods and I would be told which path to take. I remember being surrounded by angels. I forgot. So in such a sleep mode that I just could not remember, it had to be awakened again in me again. So I had to have encounters that resonated with what was already in there. These memories. Same thing with the memories that put me to sleep, that were lying in there dormant. I had to have certain people, places, experiences, problems that came that resonated with these past occurrences that have been handed down for generation upon generation upon generation, not to better prepare me to handle problems, to figure them out, so that I could let them go and engage the one within me and experience who I am. Setting myself free, setting all of creation free. So I was in that place and I heard a voice speak to me. I saw the path I was on. I used to tell people, man, God allowed me to feel death, man, and it scared the hell out of me, man. And it felt like what I would explain to be death. And I saw it, man. I saw this path I was on. I saw that I chose it. Nobody put me there. Nobody made me do it. I was on it. And I cringed at the very thing I just said about killing myself. I literally cringed. I was like, oh, I don't want that right now, you know. It was like, oh, no, inside, you know, that part of me was like, no, not now. And I heard a voice speak to me. I used to think it was outside of me. It was from the right side. And the voice said, just ask me for help. Just ask. Years before I had asked God, tattooed in reverse on my traps, knew nothing about. The only prayer I knew was the one my mom taught me when I was a kid. Now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. And I would say that prayer. That's the only one I knew. I said it when I was at war in Iraq. I quit saying it for a long time. Then I went, when I got to Iraq, I just started saying that prayer again at night. It's the only one I knew. And then I knew a little bit about what AA had taught me about asking God to do for me what I couldn't do for myself. But I didn't know, I just had no, that life was not there, you know, for me, besides these deep inner conversations that were going on outside of my intellectual mind. And I heard that voice say, just ask me for help. And freaked me out. Totally freaked me out. It was audible. And it was everywhere. I rolled out of bed and I tried to clean the house, tried to do whatever I could do to get rid of this voice speaking to me. And the voice kept speaking to me. Like I was in a whirlwind. You know, I think there's somewhere in the Bible that said God speaks in the whirlwind.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
It really is, yeah.
Um,
No doubt.
And I was in the whirlwind. It was just the voice, wouldn't leave me alone, man, wouldn't leave me alone. And I made it from probably here to that wall over there where my kitchen was. I was cleaning the house. I was trying to get rid of the voice. I was wrestling with myself, you know, just scared to death. And there was a tangible presence that pushed me down to the floor on my shoulders. Felt like something big was there and so powerful it just went boom. And I was stuck to my kitchen floor. I couldn't move. And I broke, man. Just cried. And you know, we always want to do something. And so I was like, I gotta do something. I gotta say a prayer or something. I gotta do something. You know, we want to do. And so I was just saying that prayer that AA had told me, God, please do for me what I can't do for myself. I'm tired, please. Please just do for me what I can't do for myself. Please, please, please. See what's going on here. I'll explain a little bit because we've been talking a lot about the ego and different things. The one that I have thought myself to be is not who I am. It's not who I am. The one whose vibration and frequency is being raised up is not who I am. It's coming into who I am. It's actually being consumed and dissolved by the one that I am. The eternal, the infinite, the one that's everlasting, the one that has no beginning nor ending, the one that does not die. The one that's looking through these eyes right now of you and you. Never ending, immortal, naturally supernatural, timeless. Nothing at all, actually. You can't explain it. The one that always comprehending mind, left side that we're talking about, is always trying to comprehend the incomprehensible one that I am. And trying to explain it away and cannot do it. I can't explain the encounter I had this morning. I want to. I really want to explain it to y'all. I would probably fall out and start crying if I did. It was very, very powerful. But I just can't explain it. I know I'm timeless, ancient.
Yes.
See, the way I wrote something, I normally do not read because I do better when I flow, but I really kind of feel like I should read this. And basically what happened to me after that day, everything shifted. There was a new power. You know, in Christianity, we would say reborn. You know, I was awakened. I cannot tell you who's awake and who's asleep. That would be based off of the past. I'd be judging another. I'm not the judge.
That's so good.
I judge myself all the time too, and I'm not the judge. I'm not the judge. Last I checked, I've been judged. Perfect, pure, holy, blameless,
Come on.
righteous.
Come
Right
on.
standing, righteous to me, man. I'm in right standing. I can't do anything wrong.
That's right.
And if I did something wrong, it's not me who did it because I don't want to do anything wrong. There's something there. There's a program there that's been running the show.
Yeah.
Paul called it sin in his flesh.
Yeah.
That's what he called it. If that's traditional language. If I say some traditional things, don't let it offend you or anything because they're just words. They are. They carry a vibration and a frequency. They carry the very inspiration of the writer, or they carry the inspiration of the one who inspired the writer.
Come on.
That's what channeling is. You're being inspired.
Yes.
Alec is being inspired to write,
Come
or
on.
inspired to talk, or inspired to prophesy. Sometimes I prophesy, sometimes whatever comes, man. I'm like, God, take over right now. And in those words, I was told that even using the word God, saying God told me this and God told me that, Holy Spirit told me this, Spirit told me that, that's fine, it's fine. But I was told we come to a place where it's just me speaking to you. There's no more of that. I was told we come to a place where words, which are a lower form of communication, would go away and we would know each other by the heart.
Yes.
There would be no more words unless you choose to use them. You can choose to use them. There would be no more thought unless we choose to think. We're just being and floating and doing. I was told there'd be no more electricity because we are the light. They'd be attracted to the light that we are. We're just not able to see it yet. We're seeing it. Some are seeing it. Some are seeing it. And some more are seeing it. And some are coming into it. The light is getting brighter and brighter and brighter. But there is no darkness because the light reveals the dark and the dark becomes light. If the dark becomes the light, it's always been the light
Come on.
that we are. That everything is actually, man. It's like, the trees are the light, everything's alive and talking. We just haven't been able to hear it, but our ears are being opened up. So I wrote this some time ago. I've been writing about this shift. I even titled the first one, I think, The Great Shift, like 2016, 16 or 15, I don't know, the great shift. Because we've been feeling it. We've been feeling this huge thing that's coming, but we just can't quite put our finger on it, but we know it's coming. We're all trying to put a name to it. But man, I can feel it. Man, it's coming in through and has me and you, everybody, everybody. And the more these things that's been running the show, the things that's been standing in the way, the things when it's not like we can do anything wrong, but the things that, maybe I step a little off the path or something. But those things that are creating shadows, distorting reality as I see it, which is the very definition of an illusion, a misrepresentation of reality, means I have not been seeing clearly. That's all it means. But those things, man, this great work that everybody's been doing, the mothers in here, there's many mothers in here, guys. And I'll tell you, we need a lot of nurture. Not just, I'm talking about humanity in general. We need a whole lot of nurturing that y'all carry, you carry. And nurturing to gently encourage the child, the Son of God, the Son of Man, the Son of God, the child. Gently encourage those children on those buses. We are those children too. I had a friend of mine, I was having hip trouble. Hip flexors have always been tight. It's funny you grabbed me. I tightened up so much the other night when y'all were dancing. And I'm not really scared to dance, but I went, I was triggered. Something was there. I knew it. And there was a memory there, man, that was replaying. And I knew I needed to sit with that. I needed to, I needed to relax into it because it had me. Neck was tight, everything was tight. And my hip flexors were really tight and I was having some trouble. And I've had a lot of trauma to this side of my body, the right side. And so the fascia naturally tries to protect all that, And she was like, I had a friend of mine reach out and she said, and me and Jessica had come together and she said, Alec, have you ever allowed a woman to nurture you? Now we know the physical represents the invisible too. The visible represents the invisible represents the visible and all that kind of thing. So it wasn't just a woman nurturing me, but that's what when it was time on the inside, it was time on the outside. It was time. There is no in or out, but we're talking that way. There just is. And you can't put words to it. And when she said nurture, I was like, what is that? I'm not faulting my mom. My mom was awesome. She had never been nurtured. That's right. Neither male nor female, but both male and female. One. And I realized I had been watching Jessica and the way how gentle she was with our children. And we have our moments, but she's got a gentleness about her, man, that I've never experienced. And I was just like, holy cow, man, this is different. Because I'm like, it's going to be this way. Sergeant Martin, left, right, left, get in line. You're in the front. Bryce King, and I'm like, all rattled because the kids are walking on the edge. And I'm like, get in line. And but I was being introduced to this nurture, just this gentle teaching and through encouragement, leading, just a gentle leading, not a control. That would be an imposition. Our spirit never controls. Now, I don't know what happened in my house that day, but it was just time. Sometimes it's just time. We will all actually, this is how it goes, at the right time, you will be led upward by your holy breath to a place free from disturbances where you'll be tested by every accusatory thought. And with strong displeasure, you will yearn for the full time needed to pass over into the place beyond name and form.
Woo.
But it's got to reveal itself. We have to let go. You can't, it's not like you can, I think God asked Job, it's recorded this way anyway, hey, what are you going to do, man? You're going to take a line and a hook and drop it down in there and pull Leviathan out?
Right.
You're going to figure all this out? It's so complex, man. I've tried to go back into these things and reroute them and figure them out and do this and do that and do that. I was like, man, God, there's so much. It's so exhausting. I'd have to do this all day, every day, man, to even knock it in. And there's a place for that now. Sure. But there's a much simpler, softer, easier way. And that's what I want to reveal to you guys. I've been on a journey. I walked in miracles and healings and still do. But I was so driven by that. I had to see. I had to pray with everybody. I had to do this. I had to do that. I had to do this. And the miraculous, and I've been, clearly had been just struck by power, my power. And it had taken over. But I was still getting so offended. And I still had this anger. That anger thing's been in my family for a long time. I couldn't receive love. I couldn't love myself. I remember one night I was with my ex-wife, and we're sitting in the, I hope you don't mind, babe. And I know you don't. We were sitting in the living room, and I was sitting in the lazy boy, and she was trying to give me a hug, and man, I got so freaking stiff, just like, and I was like, I'm sure she got mad, and just went to bed, and I was sitting there by myself, never by myself, never alone. I was sitting there though, and I was like, God, man, what is this? Just please do what you do. It doesn't feel right. I want to be able to open up and love people. And I got up, and by the time I made it back to my shower, I went into a vision, and I saw my dad, my dad's dad, my dad's dad, my dad, all the way back, and I saw all these men that just wanted their dad to put them in their lap and hold them and say, it's going to be okay. I love you. They never got it. They never got that. And then I heard, it was like thunder. And this is when I heard it. The buck stops with you. The chain breaks right here. And so I got set on this way and of letting go. And really not letting go of engaging and embracing the one within me. In each moment I have the opportunity. We all have the opportunity. Each moment is so sacred. I'll never see you again like this in this moment. It's sacred. I'll never feel this rug like this again. I feel it right now, man. I'll never see those trees like that again. It's right now. It's sacred and holy.
That's beautiful.
And what we have is now. What we've been doing primarily, what we've been doing as humanity, and we've been calling it all kind of things. We've primarily been operating from our conscious, our intellect. In the Bible, I think they call it the carnal mind. If you dig into that, actually, the carnal mind says it's hostile and an enmity towards God, towards the one that you are and have always been. It resists that which it cannot comprehend. But that's never what it was meant to do. It's actually our greatest gift. Yep. Hostile right there, if you dig into it, it's Satan. Just a little nugget. It's the devil. The one that you were told was running around whispering in people's ears and stuff. Yeah, that's your mind.
Yeah. It's all you. It's all you.
That's what it is,
That's right. That's right.
And I know I can talk to you guys like that because I'm listening to everybody. I heard some opinions. So, I'll tell you something cool too, and I'm sure you've all had this revelation, but something that always struck me after I had that encounter, because, you know, I'm in the Bible Belt, and there's really, like, the only place for me to go when that happened was to the church. I didn't have anybody, I just didn't, you know, and so I went there, and it really freaked them out, man. It freaked them out. You know, this guy's actually running around healing people, and, you know, miracles are happening, you know, they're freaked out, man. And I'm like, man, I'm talking to this man. God, this man is such a great man, man. He was used in such a mighty way in my life. But I would tell him, I'm like, man, when I pray, dude, I can go somewhere, man. I go somewhere. My whole body lights up on fire. I'm electrocuted. I feel like I rise up somewhere. And he's like, man, I don't know what in the world's going on with you. But keep doing it. That's what he told me. But keep doing it. And he takes me to these little prayer meetings and stuff. And dude, I'm still running around doing drugs and drinking and stuff. I can't stop. And I'm trying to stop, but I'm hearing God and I'm sharing all this stuff with people. And he's taking me around all these meetings with him and stuff. And they're like, who in the hell is this guy? Man, clearly he's hearing from God, but look at him. He's running around doing the deal. Yeah. But anyway, it always struck me weird. It was like, you know, I saw these great contradictions. And I saw this great hypocrisy, you know, and I saw it, you know, just this great division. And I always wondered, man, I was like, man, and I understood that. I was like, man, God is love. And, you know, we use the word God, but if you really go back, if you really want to get down deep into it, like you get down into ancient Aramaic, it's Allah. The one absolute infinite being.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
As many. As one.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes, yes, yes.
And many facets.
Whoa.
And I saw, I was like, man, I never ever, like you, I never believed in this whole thing about this hell thing. You know, I was like, yeah, it can't be. But I had no understanding. I had no revelation. And so I was like, I just said, you know, I was like, how can you be loved? And you can't create a place that would burn me up if I didn't, you know, do all these things right. And clearly I can't do them all right because I tried to, it doesn't. And I woke up one morning, and I still do from time to time. This used to happen a lot. But as I was waking up, I would hear an audible voice speak to me. And I woke up this morning and I heard, I am the all-consuming fire. My love is all-consuming. Yeah. And then I heard, for the one that is still resisting my love, it is hell right now. And for the one that receives my love, it's heaven right now. Bliss.
Yes. Woo. Hey.
One and the same. Heaven and earth. No.
Oh, glory.
The present moment. All the mountains, all the problems. There's a guy that I love. He's passed on now. He was a master practitioner of Ho'oponopono. And his name is Dr. Hugh Lin.
Yo, I love him.
And I feel like he's one of my mentors, although he's passed on. I've never met him. I've got lots of those guys too. And some of them have passed on a long time ago. They come to me, you know.
Yes.
I've had many visitations, and I've been taught by many different people. The main one was Jesus, though, that first started coming to me and teaching me. And then my faceless friend, which I never could remember what they look like. And I was like, man, I got this best friend with me all the time in these dreams, showing me stuff and teaching me stuff. I wake up, I'm like, I can't remember who this is. And then I read somewhere, somebody said, Holy Spirit is your faceless friend or something like that. Friend, our friend. Comforter, God. And then all that. And then I learned, well, that's me. Our Holy Spirit. My Holy Spirit. Me.
Oh, me.
Not some separate
Me
being
again.
that, you know.
Me again.
And it's okay to see that way because, you know, when we first come into this thing, in the beginning, before the beginning, in the infinite, as the light of life in the infinite source, the idea, the one thought, the one idea of the infinite dropped down, and we were in a deep meditative state, which means to extend out into. We extended out into the grossest form, the densest, the ancients would have called it the grossest form of matter. And Jesus would have said, man, I'm just mesmerized at how something so extraordinary has made its home in something so poor, poverty. The densest forms of matter were stretched out into, invisibility was unveiled. The pendulum swung way out. And ever since, we've kind of been on this, some say, a journey home. A returning and awakening, a remembering.
Yes, all the way.
Remembering. And it's
90.
until we all come back into
Right along.
center, as we would say in meditation, one. But now we know ourselves as also the enlightened beings that each are as one, as many. Which is pretty incredible. You know? So let me read this. Evolving as a body. And there's a spot, I personally read the Bible for like 3 years, and it was part of the journey. But I never saw it like everybody else sees it. And I've been rewriting it since I started reading it. And I heard one time, you know, everything you see that looks separate or divided or looks like I'm hateful or you know, we're rewrite it.
Right.
And take it through the lens of love and warmth.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I've been doing. You know? And a lot of, and when I first started hitting this rock a long time ago, a lot of people just didn't have the language, and a lot of people got offended, and I just kept hitting it, kept hitting it. I lost a lot of friends. A lot of people have come back around there. They're all talking about it now. Like, you know, and then I got offended about that. And I was like, hang on, this is my revelation. And now everybody's talking about it. And that's bullshit, because there's nothing new, you know, it's everybody's. I'll tell you
It's all
another
about me.
I'll tell you another a long time ago, I heard, this way I heard it first. You can carry my presence in such a way that when you walk in the rooms, people get healed, set free, delivered, and they'll never say a word. And then I heard, it went from you can, you will, you do, and you are. And well, it started happening. You know, I was running around praying like Todd White, man. I was running around on the streets praying with everybody. You know, I was a healer. And
Like Brian waving his Benny Hinn white suit.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that
yes,
video?
like Brian.
Yes, yes.
I was like Benny Hinn.
He literally, Brian used to dress up like Benny Hinn.
Mini
and have
Benny,
a white
Benny.
suit, and he ran around wishing it now, just like Benny Hinn knocking him down.
Mini Benny.
Yeah, Mini Benny. That's, yeah.
I called him Mini Benny. Man.
Are you live?
No, I'm not
I
live,
keep
but I've got a
on
video.
telling that story. I
I'll
named my
upload
dog
it.
Benny Hinn. Mini Benny.
There's actually videos of it.
I think he showed me one of those videos.
It's good. It's quite amazing.
It's crazy. So I was running around praying with everybody, and all these cool miracles were happening. You know, people getting out of wheelchairs and bones mending and metal, whatever was going on with metal was bending and stuff, and cancer disappearing, and tumors shrinking, you know, and really cool stuff. And then it started happening, and I wouldn't even pray. And then it was happening when I would just sit next to people, and I was like, "What the hell, God? You're not even letting me pray. How are they gonna know? How are they gonna know? Like, how are they gonna know it's you?" And I'm like, "How are they gonna know it's you?"
Yeah.
So when I heard that spoken to me, I was like, okay, this is cool. And looking back on it, I was thinking, oh, this is gonna be me. I'm gonna walk in the room and everybody's gonna get knocked down. And I was actually told I was just gonna share a bunch of testimonies. I was gonna read this stuff, just share a bunch of experiences. And that through these experiences, you will feel the very experience. Because what happens with these past occurrences, we deem them good, bad, in between all this stuff. The bad that we deem bad, we resist. We suppress them and repress them.
Very true.
The good that we deem good, we cling to and hang on to those too. And we hold it. And that energy is held captive. You know, the Bible says he went down into the lowest parts of the earth, he set the captives free. Captives. Past experiences that are holding us to the past, not allowing us to experience the present, where we're at. We're always in the present. But every time every time I go into this thing and I'm trying to figure everything out, thinking requires comparison. You don't have one thing to compare it to. And as soon as you go into that, you compare, you lock yourself into the past, the full package of that past experience comes up, meaning the feelings, the emotions, everything you experience. This might be different. The occurrence might be different, but it's a replay of that experience. It's the full package. Every seed will come up. And until you see the fruit between the wheat and the tare, you don't know which one's which.
It's true.
And that's being harvested by these angels or angels of the light, messengers. We're uprooting the tares. It feels like it's an uprooting. That's why people get so, when you say things that just challenge beliefs and systems, that what's happening is challenging their life. Because their life is everything from the dirt all the way in their lineage, all the way up till who they are right now.
That's right.
And who they think they are right now is what the Greeks would have called the persona, the personality, the one that I think is Alec, the one that's actually being written through, and this message is appearing to you as Alec, through Alec. But what happens is all those past occurrences are shaping my reality. Because what happens, those memories, when they're lying dormant, we're born into this visible plane with a memory bank that's full of them. You don't just acquire them when you're born. And so what happens is that shapes our occurrences happen. And we want to blame the outside at first. Well, the government's doing this, the medical system's doing this, the educational system, and we're complaining and blaming and debating. And all the time, until we become aware of that little child inside the subconscious mind that's been holding all this pain and all this data, it starts to reveal these things to us. You ever notice when you first we say awaken, when we first wake up, you start to hear a lot of that negative talk that's been going on inside you about yourself. It's always been there. It's been running the show. I wonder why I was in, these relationships after relationships after relationships that never worked. And why I just couldn't get past this bubble financially or in my business. There were programs there that were limiting a very unlimited being. And so that come and an occurrence happens that resonates. It's got the same sound and it wakes that up. It wakes that up. Wow. To give me an opportunity to set myself free, setting all free. Well, how do I do that? It's got to be simple. It's got to be for everybody. It can't be something I go out, I go out and spend a bunch of money on stuff too now, but that's not for everybody because not everybody's got a bunch of money to spend. Not everybody can run to the naturopathic doctor. There's nothing wrong with any of these things either. So don't think I'm saying that. Because I just went to one. My body's been freaking out. I'm like, man, what's going on? I'm just doing what I can do. And but not everybody can do that.
Right.
So how can that be the way?
Right.
Yeah, that's good.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with it. It's where we're at. And it's all being used. Every little piece is being used till we all come into we call it the fullness. I think over in the Bible it says we all come to a perfect mankind. Well, that word perfect means operating at full potential. The fullness of the Christ. And then, you get into the Christ, and in the Greek, it means logos, thought and idea. In the Aramaic, man, it's real rich. It's milta. It means the formless. In a real simple way, it means a whole lot more than this. The formless, its expression, and the form, all at once. So if you go over a long time ago, I was so interested in who I was. And I was like, because I knew if I've had this thing in me, if it's me, it's everybody. For a long time. It's there. And my dad had it. My dad instilled in me equality. It just, there is no color sun.
Wow, it's beautiful.
Because we live in the South where it's, when I was young, it was really, and it's gotten better, but, there is no color sun. You treat everybody the same.
That's right.
And so it's been in my family, it's there. My grandmother she fought for the civil rights in Selma, Alabama.
Wow.
She's a white lady.
Wow.
So
Wow.
it's there.
Beautiful.
And where was I at anyway? Got a little lost.
Right here, bunny trails.
Everybody's got it. Everybody has.
It's simple.
Get it.
It's simple enough. It's gotta be simple enough for us to get it.
So I've been practicing this, and this is not a method. It's actually a way of life. It's a way of living. And I got the revelation that we are what we came from a while back, and then I started coming out and saying, "Well, we're God, man."
Yep.
Back when nobody was really talking about it, and I called a lot,
Oh
And I was actually told to teach people to hear the voice, and to teach them who they are. Stop teaching them how to do the miracles, because then they'll identify with the miracles as soon as something doesn't work, something's wrong with me, and I'm off. They were teaching who they are. And what happened to me was I woke up one morning, and this is what I said. I've been reading these scriptures out of this little book called Who I Am in Christ. And I was doing, I'd wake up at 3 in the morning and I'd read a page, and I was just driven to do it. I just wanted to know who I was, and I was devouring everything I could to find it out. And I would read them and something would jump off the page at me. And one of the first things I said, I was like, God, I don't care about memorizing scriptures. I want it to be my language. I just want to speak. And I don't care about all that. I don't see the use in it. And then so I've never really done that, although I know a bunch of them. And it would jump out at me, and I would write it down, and I would rewrite it backwards. I'd put it in my own words. Then I'd carry it with me, and when I couldn't, I'd be like, man, this is what I'm thinking about today, because this is all I could talk about. That's all we talk about. There's a strange awareness of God. Same thing hit the Hebrides Islands years ago. The young weren't coming to the church, so they weren't saved. They were going to parties, drinking and dancing, and they started praying, and all of a sudden God showed up. They experienced what they were praying for, and the people. And one thing, the man that was leading said there was a strange awareness of God. They all started talking about this being that is all beings. That's what's going on the earth. Yeah. And anyway, so I got off on another one.
Simple. The book you were reading, the book that.
Yeah. So I was reading, and I was carrying it around with me. Well, about 30 days of that. One morning I woke up. I was in Selma, Alabama, and I was doing ministry. I was managing some grants and preaching and teaching in the church and all that good stuff. But I always call it creative rift, because I just saw the miracles were so, it just freaked people out. And I just was moving in homeless people. They gave me a house, and I started moving in the homeless people and feeding everybody. And it freaked everybody out. I'm going, what do you mean we're supposed to be the church? Man, this is everybody's the same, no? And you just cannot beat that into people that aren't there.
Yeah.
And it's freaking them out, you know. And I woke up one morning, I sat up in the bed, and I said, Lord, something has happened. I don't know how I'll ever explain this to anybody, or if I even ever need to explain it, but I feel like I'm you. And you're me. And I was, and then I started, I got the revelation in 1 John 4:17, as he is, we are in this world. And real simply put, so I'd go into class and I was teaching people who they were, and I'd ask them, I'd say, who is this talking about right here? Jesus. I said, who is Jesus? Jesus is God. Was God perfect and pure and all these things, and you know, can't really do wrong, never sinned, all this stuff? Yeah. And I said, so as he is, who is we? And you could feel the tension in the room. And I said, just say that. I am as he is.
As he is.
I am
as he is. I am him.
There's no tension in this room. And I dug in that a little further, and it actually says, just as the one, I am. But the problem is we've been operating from our left side, the intellect, the great gift to choose. But our choice, it's kind of like our diet has been really carb heavy, so we lost the mechanism for it to swap back and forth into ketosis. And we've just been carb. Well, we kind of forgot, because all we've been doing is thinking for ourselves, all the way back to the story of Adam and Eve in the garden. It wasn't so bad. God said, hey, I've provided everything for you, but I've given you this ability to choose. You can choose to think for yourself if you want to. And they ate that apple and they thought for themselves, but instead of taking 100% responsibility and just saying, no, I'm sorry I did, I'm sorry, Adam blamed Eve. And we got into the blame game. Thinking and blaming. I got a chapter in the book I wrote, Thinking and Blaming. But, and so this great gift to choose. So in each moment that we're aware, certain things come up. Certain problems. E. Haliaka always said, you ever notice that when there's a problem, you're always there? I was like,
The common denominator is you. You again.
you're not really wiggling here, man. It's not my fault. It's somebody else.
Right.
It's nobody's fault. He also said the only thing that is in you that is not you are a memory. And it goes against you and God. It's resisting. And then you get into who I am, my presence, my present, the present, now. So the only thing that can resist the now is the past that we're hanging on to. The past is gone. It's dead. So we're actually raising the dead every time we engage it. So I'm going to share with you a way of living that I've been practicing for quite some time, and it's very miraculous and it's very peaceful, but I still get into wanting to think for myself and figure everything out. So I'm not telling you I have arrived. I'm practicing.
Yeah, right.
I'm walking it out just like everybody else. But it's a very simple, easy way that we make God. So in each moment of each day, so the greatest gift for me right now is my awareness to see. And the more I practice this way, it feels the deeper I am sitting back in the seat of my soul, and the seat of my awareness, and I'm seeing the feelings, I'm seeing the emotions, I'm seeing even form, which is way out there. It's like I'm deep back up in here. And the issue that I have run across practicing this way of life, and you too, is sometimes I relate what I'm seeing to me. I identify with it as if it's me. And then you get into you blame yourself, you beat yourself up.
Yes.
Yes.
Instead of being kind, you know, it's okay. You're doing the best you can.
Aw.
I'll never, and I'm talking to myself, I'll never leave you. We're together now. For the first time in creation, I am actually aware of you and acknowledging you.
Wow.
Which means I haven't been. So I'm so sorry for all the pain you're experiencing. Please forgive me. And then, I am so sorry that I have ignored you. I have even abused you. I've even neglected you, and I'm sorry for that. We're together now. I'll never leave you. I'll never leave you. And I love you. And so these things come up. And the clearer the pond gets, you know, you start to see the bigger rocks at the bottom. You know. But they come up, and at first it seems like a flood, and then they come up. So what can I do? So I would do, AA taught me this actually. It's crazy. Pause. And the pause was actually a physical pause. And I never knew this. I learned this later, but this pause is so important. It's so important to give yourself a break. And I'm not just talking about Sunday, let's have a day of rest. I'm talking about as you go through the monotony of a day and the programs and and as you become aware that, man, I'm actually feeling tense, or I tightened up right there, like the dance move, boy. I could feel tight. I wasn't angry or anything. Sometimes anger. Sometimes I may feel agitation, frustration, stress, nervousness, fear. Any of those things. It's not like I'm focused on those things, but I'm aware of the absence of peace, which is the very definition of dis-ease. It comes in all types of manifestations.